terms of that we're videoing the class for teachers, for people that are practicing embodied yoga and hatha yoga, just to kind of show a class in a particular style, methodology and things. So generally, 75% of you aren't going to be in the class at all, but if you are in this zone here, you will be in the class, and so we've checked that with everybody. That's okay. Yeah, so about there. So if you're not okay with that, maybe good swap or yeah? Are you okay with it, honestly? Because if not, yeah? Okay. So, welcome. Let's begin with the general body awareness practice, and to do that I invite you to lie down, either with your knees up and your feet down, or laying flat, whichever you prefer, whichever you're going to feel comfortable in. So, welcome. I'm familiar with most of you. My name is Vidyadasa, as many of you know. If this is your first time to a class, I really welcome you. I hope you enjoy the class. And for all of us, really practice with as much awareness, care, and self-kindness as you can. So choose a level of intensity and type of range of movement that is suitable for you and your body and how you are this evening. How it varies every day, just listening to your body as it is. So beginning by sensing the whole of your body and your contact with the mat beneath you. Allowing the weight of the body to sink backwards and downwards. And feeling what it feels like to be laying down now at the end of your day. Whatever type of day you've had, that will have had an effect on your body feels like, how your mind is, and what feelings you've experienced or are experiencing. So bringing awareness to how you are now. And bringing a quality of acceptance to that. So we're really trying to bring a kindly, accepting awareness to you as you are now. Trying not to kind of push away any difficult experience or difficult sensations, experiencing them as they are. So if there's discomfort or pain there, bring awareness to that. Include that in the practice. If there's pleasure, turn towards that, bringing that into your awareness, including that in your practice. So we're neither kind of pushing away pleasure or pain, we're being aware of all of it. And if there's neutral sensations or neutral like feelings that aren't, they're neither strongly so-called positive or negative, feeling those as well. Bringing awareness to the back of the body and where your back makes contact with the clothes that you're wearing and then with the floor beneath you, having a sense of the floor. Feeling the breadth of the back and the length of the back. Bring to mind an image of the spine. It doesn't need to be completely anatomically correct. Bringing an image of the spine, sensing its presence in the center of your body and bringing awareness to it and what it feels like to have a spine. And sensing the muscles either side of the spine, all the way along the back. So from the lower back to the middle of the back and the upper back. And into the neck and the head. Seeing if you can really allow the weight of the head to sink backwards and downwards, feeling the support of the ground or the block if you put your head on the block. Seeing if you can imagine the skin around the back of the head becoming soft. And that softness spreading all around the side of the head, the scalp, the forehead. Allowing the skin to become soft and smooth, as though the skin was made of silk. Allowing the eyes to sink backwards and downwards. Imagining the skin across the cheeks and the lips becoming soft. Sensing the inside of the mouth, the roof of the mouth, the base of the mouth, and the tongue. Letting the tongue sink backwards and downwards. Beginning to bring awareness to the breath, sensing the flow of air coming inwards and outwards through the nose, or if you can't breathe easily through the nose, then through the mouth. Sensing what that actually feels like to be breathing with awareness. Feeling the sensations of breathing is one of the ways in which we can perceive our aliveness, being alive in this body now. And guiding your awareness down through the throat and into the chest, and feeling any movements of the breath there. And into the ribs, there may be a rising and falling, an expansion, a contraction, kind of an accordion-like movement, an opening and closing. Feeling that rhythm. Rising and falling. Seeing you can allow the breath to be fluid and easy, just happening by itself. And continue your awareness, spreading awareness down through into the hips, sensing the front of the hips. Sides of the hips, back of the hips, the whole pelvic region. And guiding awareness down through the legs, top of the thighs, sides of the thighs, back of the thighs. Shins, calf muscles, the ankles, the tops of the feet, the sides of the feet, the soles of the feet. Sensing the soles of the feet. And bringing awareness toes. Each individual toe. Big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. And then bringing awareness to the fingers, to each individual finger. The thumb, forefinger, third finger, fourth finger, and the fifth finger. And then guiding awareness up through the wrists, the forearms, the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders. Bringing awareness back to the sensations of the breathing. We're going to synchronize movement of our arms and hands with the process of breathing. So on the next in-breath, lifting the hands up towards the ceiling, and on the next out-breath, bringing the hands back and down behind you. So on the in-breath, the hands rising, and on the out-breath, the hands coming forwards and down. We'll do this roughly 8 to 10 times with that awareness of the breath. On the in-breath, hands rise. On the out-breath, the hands back and down. The in-breath, hands rise. Out-breath, hands forwards and down. So keep going in your own breathing rhythm. So we're neither speeding it up or slowing it down, synchronizing the movement of the arms with the breath. And sensing what that feels like. Noticing how the arms feel whilst you do that, how the shoulders feel whilst you do that. Notice the quality of effort that you're making. You might be holding the arms quite softly, quite lightly, or you might be holding the arms quite intensely, as though you're reaching for something. So noticing what your way of doing that is. That might be a very familiar thing for you to do, or it might be something that's new for you. Just sensing how that is. And choosing if that's the best way for you to do that this evening. Is that what brings most pleasure to your body? Or is there another way in which you can do that that will feel more pleasurable or feel more beneficial? So you can bring that kind of inquiry into our practice. So we've really got awareness of what we're doing and how it feels and why we're doing it in that way. And then we've got the option to change it if we wish. And of course that applies to all the movements and to the rest of our life, bringing that freedom of choice into whatever we do. The next time that the hands are up, let's pause there with the palms facing forwards and lift the shoulders up off the floor, reaching the fingers upwards away. Bring the shoulders up, the fingers up, and then letting the shoulders sink back and down. So a couple of times, lifting the fingers, hands, elbows, shoulders, and then letting them sink back and down with an idea of broadening the shoulders away from the spine when you lower the shoulders down. So lifting fingers up, wrists, elbows, shoulders, and then lowering shoulders back and down. A few times. Again, sensing how that feels. Last time, and then lowering the shoulders back and down. And then bringing the left knee towards the chest. Wrap the hands either around the front of the knee if you can reach, or around the back of the left thigh. And we'll circle the left knee around and circle the left hip around. So fluid circling motion, sensing how that feels in the hip, bringing some freedom of movement into the hip. Fluid rolling motion. So a few times on that side. Again, we can notice the pace in which you do that. Do you do that slowly or quickly? Do that intensely or softly? Once you've done that a few times, you can pause, release that foot back down to the floor, and then doing the same on the other side. So bringing the right knee towards the chest and holding on around the back or the front of the knee or thigh. So fluid rolling process, really opening up the hip joint. Recollecting and sensing the whole of the body, but bringing awareness to those areas that you're moving. The hips, the knees, the arms. Lifting the right foot upwards towards the ceiling. You can hold on around the back of the right leg if you wish, or you can keep the hands down to the floor. So choose a quality of effort you wish to make with your right leg. So you might want to have quite a relaxed version, you might want to bend the knee, or you might feel like really reaching the right foot up towards the ceiling, really stretching out the back of the right leg. Choosing what you feel is beneficial for you this evening. Try and keep the lower back sinking back and down. And place the hands on your belly or ribs, so that helps you bring awareness to the breath. So maintaining that continuity of awareness of the body and the breath. And what that feels like. And let's roll the right ankle around. So fluid rolling through the ankle, rolling through that joint a few times one way and then the other. And then try pointing the toes upwards. And then bringing the right foot to the floor. And let's do the same with the left side. So lifting the left foot upwards. Again, choosing whether you want the left knee bent or the left leg fairly straight or very straight. Increasing the distance between the lower left side of the back and the left foot. Sensing what feels beneficial for you this evening. Notice when you do a little bit too much for yourself, or whether you do not enough. What feels right? What's the kind of right quality of effort for you this evening? So noticing habits and ways in which you practice, and then choosing whether that's beneficial for you this evening, and adjusting if you need to. And then roll the ankle around, fluid circling motion, rolling through that joint. Good. And bringing the toes upwards. And then bringing the left foot down to the floor. So having the soles of the feet touching the floor and the knees up. And having the feet and the knees hip width apart, so hip socket width apart. You can take a little glance down in the direction of the knees and your feet and check they're kind of in alignment. And engage the feet firmly with the floor. Bring the hands either side of the hips. And we can do this either with the head on the block, or for some people it's less comfortable with the head on the block, in which case you can take a block out from underneath the head. We're going to do a few spinal rolls. So what I mean by that is we're going to push down into the feet and the hands and lift the hips upwards in the direction of the ceiling. And then we're going to roll the hips back down again. So in your own time, the hips rising, lifting up towards the ceiling. With as much awareness and care as you can. So really taking care of the back. And then lowering up the back down, the middle of the back down, and the lower back down. So rolling up and down a few times. If you need to take pauses at any time, feel free to do so. So again, we're practicing body listening, listening into giving the body what it needs. So if you need to rest, giving yourself permission to rest. And not going beyond yourself in terms of what's helpful for you. Sensing the body, sensing the breath, feeling what it feels like. Is it pleasurable, neutral, painful? Is there anything you can do to make it feel more beneficial for you now? Again, feeling the quality in which you're doing. And if you wish to take a pause, you can either take a pause with the hips up if you want a little bit more intensity, or you can rest with the lower back down, whichever you prefer. And then lowering the lower back down. Let's move into a twist. So allow the knees to roll towards the left side. So rolling the knees towards the left side and bringing awareness, taking the gaze or turning the face towards the left. So the eyes can be closed or open, whichever you prefer. Bringing awareness to the right side of the body, feeling the movements of the breath on the right side of the body. Bringing the knees upwards, rolling the knees and face towards the right. Sensing the left side of the torso and feeling the movements of the breath, particularly in the left side of the torso. And then roll more fully onto the right side. We're going to use that as a transitionary position to move from up into all fours. So we can roll to the right and use the hands and the elbows and the knees to come around into an all fours position. So what I mean by all fours is having the hands below the shoulders and the knees below the hips. And we'll continue this kind of warming up and opening up the various joints in the body and the theme of finding form and freedom. So let's roll the hips to the right and then back and to the left and forwards. Right, back, left, forwards. A few times, really feeling what that's like. Opening up the hips, sensing the lower back. Again, so noticing what your body feels like it needs. A few times in that way, and then once you've gone around a few times, you can pause, go back in the other direction. To the left, back, to the right, forwards. And as you do that, really start to feel those particular stretches that your body would like or would love. Giving your body what it needs and loves. And then giving yourself those stretches. So a couple of minutes of free-flowing practice. So free movement, feeling what feels helpful and gives you a sense of pleasure and freedom in the body. So it might be quite animalistic, quite like a cat or dog when they wake up after a sleep, sensing what that feels like. So it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, really feeling what you would love to do right now. Let the body do what it loves. Notice what sensations kind of guide you to do particular stretches. How do you know to move in a particular direction or not, or to hold a position? Really guiding yourself into that kind of deep inner knowing of your body. Notice how it feels to be not given a set structure to do. How do you feel about that? Is that a real pleasure for you, or is that a difficult thing? Is it uncomfortable to be without specific guidance? Some people that's a real pleasure, for other people that can be difficult. So, sensing what that's like for you. A few more moments and then we'll move into some more structured practice. Coming back into all fours, so bringing the hands below the shoulders again, the knees below the hips. Now let's swing the left knee forwards and downwards, and a distance between the left knee and the hip that feels practical for you. So it doesn't need to be really far forward and intense if that doesn't feel right for you. And you can either keep the hands fully to the floor, if you'd rather come up onto the fingertips, you can do that. Have a sense of lifting the chest and lifting the gaze a little way, but try and keep the back of the neck soft. The whole of this area is soft, so we're not bringing in unnecessary tension. Roll the shoulders back and down if that feels helpful. And sometimes you bring unnecessary tension to the jaws, so you can really bring awareness to that area. Roll the lips and jaws around. From there, we can fold forward. So bring the elbows forwards and down. Bring the hands forwards and folding forwards over the left knee. Thinking about the neck and the head moving forwards, away from the shoulders and the hips. Again, adapt and adjust if there's discomfort. What do you need to do to make it more pleasurable or comfortable for yourself? If there's pain or discomfort, inquire what is it and why. Can you change it? Turn towards it. Don't just force through it. Practicing with intelligence, care and kindness. A few moments will unfold from there, so you can walk the hands back towards the shoulders, pushing down into the ground, lifting the gaze, and swing the left knee back and down, and the right knee forwards and down. And again, you can choose whether you wish to have the hands really strongly connected to the floor, pushing down into the floor, or coming up onto the fingertips. Having a sense of lifting the chest, lifting the gaze a little way. Sensing the body. Taking care of the lower back, so don't overdo it in the lower back. Roll the shoulders forwards, up and back and down if that feels helpful. And then folding forwards, bringing the elbows and hands forwards and down. Neck and head moving forwards, or you can support the head by crossing the arms over and resting the forehead on the forearms. Good, feeling the body. You can try slightly rolling the hips side to side a little way. Pushing down into the hands and lifting the gaze forwards and walking the hands back. Bringing the right knee back. Bringing the knees hip width apart again. Spread the fingers as widely as is comfortable. Really drop the fingers down, pushing down into the hands a little way. Tuck the toes underneath. Bringing the hips backwards and pushing down into the hands. And try walking the hands about one hand length further back towards the knees. And then pushing down again and lifting the knees a little way off the ground. And then lowering the knees down to the ground. So do this a few times. So lifting the knees and then lowering the knees. Try and keep the neck as soft as you can. Good. seeing if you can allow the neck and head to hang as much as you can. You can broaden the shoulder blades away from the spine, sensing the body, sensing the breath, letting the head hang. So trying to avoid holding on tightly to the head. Bend the knees, or you can straighten the legs, listening into your body and what feels helpful for you. And in a few moments we can swing the left foot forwards and down. That might be in one swing, or it might be a few steps to get there. Now let's walk the right heel forwards so that you can have the whole of the right foot to the floor. So it doesn't matter how far you have to walk your foot forwards to get there. But making sure that both feet are firmly on the floor, pushing down into the feet and slowly unfolding upwards. Gradually lifting the head, neck and shoulders upwards. So, good. Then let's lift the hands forwards and upwards. And opening the hands outwards, so having a sense of expansion. We can lift the gaze up a little way. As though these circular lights are the sun. There's sunlight of spring coming into our life, hopefully soon. Seeing what it might feel like in the body to allow that quality of openness to spring into the body. Notice how you're holding that. Are the shoulders tight or are they soft? See if you can allow openness and softness into the body. Quality of receptivity to the joys of spring. Imagine that it's a really pleasurable, warm, sunny spring day. And then let's bring the hands together at the chest. Down, walk the right foot forwards, having the feet hip width apart. Sense the toes, lift the toes, spread them widely and drop them down. And lifting the heels, spread them widely and drop them down. So really have a sense of your contact with the floor. And then think about the neck and head lifting upwards towards the ceiling. Align the shoulders over the hips over the heels. Feeling the body, feeling the breath, so sensing the whole of your body in awareness. Front of the body, sides of the body, back of the body. And then giving the weight more fully to the right foot and lifting the left knee forwards and up, level with the hips if that's comfortable, or higher if it is, or lower if it's not comfortable. And let's swing the left foot backwards and downwards, turning the left heel in and down, turning the gaze, turning the torso to the left. So choose a comfortable position for your hip. For some people that brings discomfort, so you can always keep the left foot a little bit further forwards and not make it so extreme in the hips. So choose what's good for you. Then bring the hands out level with the shoulders. And take the gaze, look beyond the right hand. See if you can bring the right knee over the right heel. And taking the gaze to focus forwards, as though you're gazing far off into the distance. So really forward directed gaze. Checking the hands are level with the shoulders. The back hand often gets a little bit lazy, goes out of sight, out of mind, so just bring awareness to that back hand. Check it's not coming to one side or the other as well. Good, so thinking about that forward direction, is that a quality that you need in your life? If so, where? Imagining yourself being that focused in your life. Is that a familiar feeling or is that unfamiliar? Pleasurable, helpful, unpleasurable? Do you like it or dislike it? This is a quality we can practice to bring into our life. Okay, then letting the left hand lower down the back hand, lift the right hand upwards, lifting the gaze upwards. So coming back to that quality of openness and expansiveness, lifting the gaze as though skywards towards the spring. And then let's bring the right elbow forwards and down onto the right knee. Align the head over the right foot. Bring the left hand around onto the left side of the body or the lower back. Keep the neck and head moving up, away from the shoulders, away from the hips. Deep breaths there. Then lifting the left hand upwards. Turning the palm of the hand forwards over the head. So elongating the whole of the left side of the body, from the left heel up into the left hand. Checking with the neck, try and keep the neck soft. And then bring the left hand all the way forwards and down to the floor. And turn the left heel to point backwards. So you can choose to rest here if you wish. You can lower the left knee to the floor if you need a little rest. Or you can keep the left knee up. We'll go into a twist, so we can bring the right hand around to the right side of the hips or to the lower back. Turning the gaze towards the right. Neck and head moving forwards, up, away from the shoulders and from the hips. Sensing the body, sensing the breath. And then bring the right hand forwards and down. And then walk the left foot forwards and downwards. And roll the neck and head around, the shoulders around. Bring some ease into the neck and shoulders. And we're going to reach the hands forwards and upwards, opening outwards and upwards. And again, let's bring up quality of openness and expansiveness and outwards. Expanding the hands away from the central line of the body. Lifting the gaze. You can let the shoulder blades sink back and down. Back of the neck softening, lifting up as though the head was attached to a huge helium balloon, which is lifting the head up effortlessly. Feeling the body, feeling the breath. See if you can allow ease into the body. Adapt, adjust the position to make it practical and pleasurable for you. You can allow pleasure into the body. Sometimes we can make yoga really serious and really intense, and sometimes it can be light and pleasurable as well. And then bring the hands back together. Lower the hands down to the chest. And then giving the weight fully to the left foot. And lifting the right knee upwards. And swinging the right foot back and down. And choosing whether you want to turn the hips fully or choosing the distance. So the right foot might not be so wide or it might be very wide, depending on how it feels for your hips and your back. Turning the gaze to the right. Bring the hands level with the shoulders. Check the hands are level with the shoulders rather than the jaws of the head. And then taking the gaze forwards over the left hand. So again, finding that focal, visual focus. And imagine far off into the distance. Imagine as though you are a warrior, a peaceful warrior. You've got a long, long way to go through the desert. You've got to draw that energy up into the body, really focused, really clear. You've got to keep it going for a long time. What if we were going to stay here for a week? What energy would you need to draw up into the body and vitality to do that? See if you can muster that up. And lowering the right hand down the back leg. Lift the left hand up, a little reprieve. So you're taking the gaze upwards. Keep the back of the neck soft. There's a beautiful tree up there with fruits that you can lift up and just take one down. A nice spring or summer fruit and eat from the tree if you delight with such a thing. And then bringing the left elbow forwards and down. Align the head over the left foot. Bring the right hand around to the right side of the hips or to the lower back, whatever feels better for you. Sense your connection with the floor. Feel the feet, feel the floor. Sense the breathing. Returning to whole body awareness. Make sure you're not hurting yourself in any way. Practicing with care and kindness. And we can lift the right hand upwards, lifting it up. And turning the palm and hands face forwards and down, reaching the right arm up and away from the back foot. Awareness of the neck and the shoulders, make sure you're not overdoing it. And then bring the right hand all the way forwards and down to the floor, level with the left heel. Turn the right heel to point backwards. If you need a rest, you can lower the right knee to the floor, or you can keep that intensity and the right heel reaching back. Choose to bring the left hand around to the left side of the body or to the lower back and twisting, turning towards the left side. Again, avoiding forcing or straining or doing anything that causes pain. Choosing a range of movement that feels helpful for you. Keep the neck soft, but lengthening. Shoulders soft, feeling the body breathing. And then bring the left hand forwards and down. And then let's walk the left foot forwards. Again, you can roll the neck and shoulders around a bit if that's helpful. Wiggle the fingers, take a few longer, deeper breaths. A few sighs, let it all go. You need to. Forward bend's a great practice for letting go of stuff if there's mind is still thinking about the day in any way. You can really consciously practice that letting go. Letting go of anything that is unnecessary, taking your mind away, taking your presence away to something. Coming back into the body, into the breath, letting the head hang, letting any unnecessary thinking dissolve away by bringing awareness to your feet, to the floor. Making a practice of letting go of anything that's unhelpful for you now. Asking yourself, what would be helpful to let go of? Might be to allow more joy into your life. By letting go of things we hold on to, we often allow more space in our life for other things to arise that might be more helpful or beneficial. And we're slowly going to unfold upwards. Lifting the hands all the way up, reaching the fingers all the way up towards the ceiling, as though you could reach through the ceiling towards the sky. If you wish, you can come forwards onto the toes, if that doesn't take you off balance. Reaching up. And the shoulders sink back and down. Lower back sink back and down. And lowering the heels back and down. Good. Lowering the hands down. Great. Good. Okay, so we're going to do some weight transfer movements. So what I mean by that is we're going to walk forwards with the right foot and then bring the hands forwards and up and then back and down. And I'll guide us through that. So we'll do it with the legs first. I'll just show you first. So we're going to go forwards and back. So as you go forwards, the back heel may come off the floor. As you go back, the toes of the front foot might come off. So choosing a distance between your hips that feels like you can maintain the balance, okay, so don't make it too thin because that might be more difficult for you to balance. So once you've done it a few times, we can then bring the arms into it as well, so we can lift forwards and up, and then back and down. So try it without the arms first, so transferring weight forwards to the front foot, and then back to the back foot. Forwards to the front foot, and then back and down. Forwards and up, and lifting the gaze, lifting the chest, lowering the weight back and down to the back here. Forwards and up. Then we can start bringing the arms into it if you wish. Forwards and up. Forwards and up, and lifting, back and down and lowering. Notice which feels more comfortable, practical, or pleasurable for you. And you can pause in either of those. It might be you feel you need a little bit more connection with the floor and grounding that feels better or more balanced for you, or it might be you feel actually no, I need a bit more up and outward expansiveness. You might be feeling a little bit more like you're still in the ends of winter, or you might be feeling a bit more like spring-like, and yes, I can expand outwards and upwards. If you feel like you've got a bit more lightness, you can really lift up off the floor, if that feels like a nice thing to do. So a couple more times on that side, and then lower the back foot back and down, and lower the hands down. Good. And bring the feet back a bit apart. Just shake out the arms and legs a little way. Roll the shoulders around a little way. Good. Just come back into awareness of the body. Neck and head lift. Shoulders broaden. Hips sink back and down. Feel the connection with the floor. Notice the difference between stillness and movement. What does that feel like? For some people it's easier to maintain awareness in stillness. For some people there's more of a pleasure for movement. So noticing what your preference is. So try that with the eyes closed, go more inwards, sensing the whole of the body, sensing what it feels like with that inner perception of the body, with the eyes closed so we don't have the same external stimulus. And notice you've probably still got an awareness of other people and a sense of the space that you're in. But it probably feels different. Might feel a little bit more private, more inward, like you're more aware of your inner sense of the world around you, your inner body. Learning the breath flow in and out by itself. Slowly begin to take our awareness outwards. Even with the eyes closed, we can still have a sense of the space we're in, that people will be aware of again. Imagining the four corners of the walls and the windows and the floor, and then gradually opening the eyes to become aware of the people and the space again. It may feel different when you have your eyes closed. And then turning sideways on your mat, so you're in this plane rather than that plane. And let's open the feet out wide and have a big expansive gesture with the body. You can turn the toes outwards, take care of your knees. For some people it brings a lot of tightness or pressure there. So you can choose up the knees bent or legs straight. And open the hands outwards and upwards. So there's a real expansion away from this central line of the body. Think out and up. And take out as much space as you possibly can. So going from that more internal world to the more expansive, filling the external world. The back of the neck and head lift, the fingers move up away from the chest, the toes expand outwards. Notice what that feels like. Does that feel pleasurable or unpleasurable? Are you more at ease in this position, or are you more at ease in the other one, in the standing more inwards? We've usually got a tendency one way or the other, but if we can do both fully, then we've got a bit more of a range, and that could be helpful for the whole of our life. So think about an area in your life where you really need to fill up space and be seen, expand into it. This can be a great practice for that. You do this before you go into a situation, like if you're a school teacher or something where you have to be very visible. It can be a helpful practice for doing that, or if you're going into a meeting where you're speaking. Great practice for that kind of thing. We're going to hold that for 3 days. Is that right? Okay, so let's contrast that more. So let's bring the hands to the chest again. Walk the feet back in. And as quickly as you can, go inwards again. Whole body awareness. The hands can be at the chest or by the side of the hips if you prefer that position. Whole body awareness, feeling the body, feeling the breath, sensing your contact with the floor, allowing the whole of the body to soften and turning your awareness inwards. And then more quickly this time, taking your eyes, become aware of the space again and filling up the space again really quickly. How often do you get disrupted when you have your time by yourself and you have to suddenly come out of reading that book or from that sleep and the phone goes or whatever. So being able to go from that internal world to the more external world quickly can be really helpful. Okay, back in. Close your eyes. Go into whole body awareness. Feeling the body, feeling the breath. Back out. Big expansive breath. Back in. And coming out. Slowly, gradually opening your eyes. Good, okay, so we're going to do a moving warrior sequence, and we're going to do it in 4 ways. So I'll show each one of those as we go through it. Some of you are familiar with it, some of you may not be familiar, so I'll break it down as we go. So I'll do it one by one. So we're going to do a more kind of stable kind of earth element one where it's very kind of slow, gradual, practical in a way, methodical, broken down. So bring the hands to the chest, so we really be aware of the connection with the floor and aware of the whole of the body. And then take the hands forwards and upwards, and then the hands down, level with the chest, back to the heart. Walk the left foot backwards. Really aware of the floor beneath me, lowering the left hand downwards, slowly backwards, following the movement with the gaze. Up, forwards. Walk the back foot forwards. So you can join in this time if you like, or if you want to watch again you can. So the hands coming forwards and upwards, fairly slowly. Hands coming down, level with the heart, with the chest, bringing the hands to the body. Walk the right foot backwards and downwards. Again, adapt as you need to. Lower the right hand downwards, backwards, upwards. Bring the right hand forwards and downwards. And the back foot forwards. So we'll do a couple more in this way. Forwards and upwards, forwards and down. So take your time. Go as slow as you need to, with as much awareness as you can. Make it really slow, so you can be aware of the whole of the body through the whole of the process. Really being aware of that presence of the ground beneath you. It's that allows us the stability to move with that care, and methodical as well. Make it really methodical, practical. This way of being might be something that you're very familiar with, might be something you enjoy, it might be something, a way in which you lead your life, or it might be very unfamiliar with you, to you. You might not like that. That depends on your body, what your preference is. You might get up at the same time every day, have the same food every day, go out the door at the same time, do the same thing really. That might be a more kind of earthy way of leading your life. You might like structure and regularity and form in that kind of way. And that's not right or wrong. That might be a way of doing your life that feels good for you. And that is a way, and that's helpful for some people, and for others it's really unfamiliar and not so good. So we're going to contrast that with some other qualities as well. So the next time your hand is at your chest, pause there. And you can relax out that one if you wish. You can shake that version off. We're going to do a watery version, which is a bit more fluid. So you can kind of think a bit more kind of ballet-y, dancey, tai chi sort of thing. So again, I'll demonstrate. So flow the hands upwards and flow the hands down. Flow the hand backwards a little bit more quickly. So fluid, flowing, thinking of the whole body being made of water, which of course it pretty much is. So, and then we can notice whether that's more preferable or not for yourself. So notice if you're already going, oh, I really don't like that way, no, that's really not anymore. We're like, yeah, I love that way. You know, you've probably got a preference one way or another. Bring the hands to the chest. You know? Be aware of the body as a body of water. And then lifting the hands, lifting the gaze, flowing the hands up, flowing the hands to the chest. Flowing the left hand downwards and upwards and forwards, left foot back, lifting the hands, lifting the gaze, lowering the hands, bringing the right hand back and the right foot back, lowering it forward. So keep going a few times, sense the qualitative difference and notice whether you enjoy this one more or less. You might miss the, oh, really regular, stable, really grounded, or you might be like, oh yeah, I love this, this is really much more how I live my life. Or there might be a real deep longing for this quality in your life. Or you might hate it. Notice where you are on that spectrum of like, love, dislike. Notice what the breathing's like. Your breath might really flow in and out on this one. You might really be aware of the whole breathing process of the body is just breathing itself. You might feel like you could do this for 3 days, or you might be like, I'm so done with this. Stop this hippie nonsense immediately. Notice what it is. If you can bear to stop that, it looks like you're all quite in your flow. Notice what it's like to stop doing something you like doing. Bring the feet back below the shoulders and things. So we're going to do it in a fiery way next. So might be a bit more energetic in a certain kind of way, and we can work with the breath in this one in a different way. So you can really suck the breath in, like, and then out. So a bit more fiery. Think fire dragon rather than, you know, watery, flowy. So try the breath a few times first. So brilliant, you got it. So a few more times. So good, okay, so keep doing that, and then we're going to start the movement as well. So and then the movement. So a bit more angular again. A bit more energizing, good. Try a little bit faster. Don't feel yourself pain. Feel around the body, feel around the breath. Okay, notice whether you like it or you love it or you hate it. There's a different atmosphere in the room, isn't it? You might be a firefighter, or you might not. And then slowly, gradually bringing that to the flow, gradually letting the fire dissolve away. Different? Does that feel a little bit different? That hurts? Yeah? Okay, shake that off a little bit. So we're going to do a silly version of air. Air can be quite playful, a little bit of a mixture of different elements, and also it's a little bit of a jazz improv. So we let go of a certain form and structure and play around a little bit. So, for example, it might be that you start with a basic form, but then you funk it up a little bit. So it might be like, oh yeah, this is what I used to do, and then it's like, oh, hang on a minute, I might just play about a little bit. I'm like a 3-year-old. Make silly noises if you want to. Notice if you're going, no way, I'm going there. Or if you're going, yeah, God, I can't wait. I love that. So it's an opportunity to practice being 2 years old again, if you wish, or not. If you'd rather just watch, that's absolutely fine. So you don't have to do anything. So, but give it a go if you'd like. So bringing the hands to the chest. So again, start with the form and then mess around. If you get lost, you've gone so far off piece you can't remember where you are, come back to the form or just enjoy being lost and playing. Okay, so lifting up, lowering down, and then play around a bit. You know, go completely off piece if you want. Do different movements, really sense the body, feel the rubberiness of the body if you wish. Play about a little bit. Feel the breath, feel the air. Be silly if you can. Notice if you really don't like doing it. That's okay. Notice if you love it and you want to do more of it. Is this a quality you need more of in your life or less? Are you doing this every day and you need more of? Or are you doing not enough of this and you need more play? So of course, this is something you can play around with. If you're feeling really serious and you need a bit of lightening up, why the heck not? Life can be too serious sometimes. So you can bear yourself from stopping and gradually bringing the hands back to the chest. We're going to do a different quality of air now. We're going to do a more slow, mindful, terribly spiritual air. Okay? So that might look a little bit like this. Sometimes it takes a little while to shake off the other one. So I'm going to really try and practice whole body awareness and awareness of the space that we're in. Really being aware of this space as filled with air. Imagine it full of light There's a light, airy, spacious way in it as well. So lifting the hand, lifting the gaze. I'm really aware of the space above me and around me and all the other people I'm sharing this airy space with. So it's really, and enjoy that breath of life coming in. So it's really, I might imagine I've got angel wings and I want to be really hippie and expansive about it. That might be nice. So, okay, so give that one a go if you like. So lifting up, really spacious, open. You can open the hands out a little bit more, that's helpful. Lowering down, so whole body awareness, awareness of the space. Breathing in the life force energy as though you're breathing in the breath of life. Every single cell in your body filling with life, vitality, energy. Enjoy the breath. Yeah, imagine that spring-like light air and energy. Notice that feels really silly. You can't possibly let yourself do that. I'm British, thank you very much. Or whether it feels like, I really need that, or you like that, need that. Just one more of those. And then, when you're spaced out and airy enough, come back to the front of your mat. Lower the hands down. Let's just roll the wrists around, roll the shoulders, roll the elbows a little way. And let's go inwards again. Bring the awareness inwards, closing the eyes perhaps, and just have a little moment to sense actually what did you like out of those, if there was any that you liked, or what did you dislike? And what was it about those that you liked or disliked? Was it being seen, being in a group of other people doing something completely ridiculous? Or was it the being very serious and stable and focused and grounded? Notice what it was. Notice whether you loved them all, or whether you hated them all, or a mix. And notice if there's any of those qualities that you felt a real longing for, a real desire for, and could you bring more of that into your life in any way? And you can imagine yourself doing that practice. Choose that practice, do it every day in the morning for a minute or so. Might really change your day and how you go about your day. Whole body awareness, feeling the breath. Lifting the hands upwards on an in-breath, lifting them up and lifting the face up. And then folding forwards and downwards, coming back into a forward bend, letting the head, neck and shoulders hang and letting all of that dissolve away, kind of letting go of the whole of the class. Letting the head, neck and shoulders hang, you can bend the knees if you wish. Very slowly we're going to bring yourself down to the floor, so bending the knees more. If it's difficult to come into a squat, then you can bring yourself down to sitting. It might be sitting cross-legged or kneeling. Getting a sense of your connection with the feet on the floor. And then one by one bringing the hands back and the hips back and down. Bring the feet to the floor in front of you. Bring the hand underneath the back of the legs, and let the neck and the head lift a little way. Roll the shoulders. Lift the knees a little way, taking care, making sure if you're near a wall or rigid, make sure you're not going to fall back and hit your head on it. So taking care, being aware of where you are and adjusting as necessary. So if you wish to do a little bit more, you can lift the feet forwards and up, or the hands forwards and up. If you need to do a little bit less, then lower the feet down a little way. Forwards and downwards, but again, take care of the whole of the body. Choose what's good for you. And then lowering the feet down. And then bringing the hands back and down behind you, bringing the elbows back and down. And then allowing the knees to roll a little way towards the left, turning the gaze towards the left, back the neck soft. Aware of the breath, and lifting the knees and rolling the knees to the right, turning the gaze towards one by one, walking the elbows a little bit further out, lowering the upper back and the head downwards. And crossing the right leg up and over the left and letting the knees roll all the way towards the left. They don't need to come all the way down, just to wherever's comfortable and practical. You can begin to close your eyes if you wish, sensing the breath in the right side of the body, full body breathing. Few breaths there. And gradually rolling onto the back again, uncrossing the right leg. Crossing the left leg up and over the right leg and letting the knees roll towards the right. If it's uncomfortable crossing the legs, then you can just keep the knees together instead. Turning the torso a little way towards the right. Sensing the body, sensing the breath. Crossing the legs, choosing whether you'd rather have the knees up and the feet down or the legs flat, whichever you prefer. A couple of last things to synchronise our awareness of the body and the breath. So similar to what we did at the beginning, on an in-breath, lifting the hands, and on an out-breath, bringing the hands backwards and downwards. On the in-breath, the hands rising, and on an out-breath, the hands coming forwards and downwards. So a few times. So if you'd rather just rest, you can let the hands be to the floor. It's absolutely fine. Try and do that in a way that feels really pleasurable and relaxing. Really softening the body, really synchronizing that soft, fluid movement. So coming back to a little bit of a watery, airy quality. Feeling the whole of the body, feeling the breath. And sometimes that synchronization of movement and breath can really help the mind settle into body awareness. Whenever you feel you'd rather come to stillness, bring your hands to either somewhere in your body that feels practical or comfortable. It might be on the chest or the ribs or the belly, or it might be resting the hands either side of the hips, with the palms facing down or up. Choosing a position you can really allow yourself to rest into, making it a practice of resting. If you feel that you might become cold, pop a hand in the air, or bring your blanket, or if you just rather would have a blanket to feel more comfortable, pop a hand in the air, I'll bring you one. I'm going to dull the lights. Put a hand in the air, I'll bring you one. Allowing the weight of the body to sink backwards and downwards, really noticing the ground of the feet. Sensing the weight of the body and letting the weight of the body be supported by the ground. Noticing the areas of the body that make contact with the clothes and with the floor beneath you. Noticing sounds around you. Your body responds to those sounds. It might barely notice them, or it might be that your mind goes to them. Notice what your natural tendency is. And you can choose to make that sound as a kind of reminder to come back to awareness. Or just let it be there. Nothing you can control. See if you can just allow it to happen by itself. You can allow the whole of the body to become soft, recollecting that image of the body made of water. So the body was spreading out across the mat, melting, spreading across the whole of that. Allow that fluidity of the breath to flow in and out. Fluid, easy breathing, letting it happen by itself. Sensing the sensations of air coming into the body without any muscular effort, conscious of your behalf. It's just happening. Happening by itself. Allowing the air to flow in and out. If you find the noise irritating, you can imagine it's something beautiful. For example, you can imagine it's a really beautiful bird that is calling out to another bird, and see if that makes any difference on your perception of the sound. It may or it may not. Enjoying the breath. Whenever the mind wanders, notice where it wanders to, bringing awareness back to your experience of being alive in this body now. Letting go of any effort to concentrate in any particular way. And slowly, gradually begin bring the practice to a close. So giving yourself time to transition out of this stillness. Perhaps by becoming aware of your sense of the ground beneath you again. Perhaps wiggling fingers and toes, or rolling arms and legs. Being aware that you're in a space with other people again, recollecting the visual sense of the space, and if you wish, gradually opening your eyes, taking time to transition outwards. And often it's helpful to roll to one side as a transitionary position, so perhaps bringing the knees up and then rolling the knees to one side. Taking a few breaths in that position. Becoming aware of where you are and the other people you've been practicing with, becoming aware that we're going out into the rest of the evening, or if you're staying for an Embodied Yoga Principles class, it's 7:30 to 8:45, make sure you prepare for that. Squash, and sorry I had to rejig around a little bit, and thank you for having patience in that, and also the difference of the video as well, so I hope that was okay for you. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a lovely evening, and see you soon. And yes, if you are interested in Embodied Yoga,